I mean, back 20 years ago when you're first starting to play StarCraft, it was really segmented based on like where you could play together.
The connections weren't as good, right?
Oh, for sure.
Even if I played with a European, it was
you were struggling.
It was yeah. Well, it was just there are things we couldn't do, but now the internet's getting stronger and better connected, and so this is cool. So welcome to the studio, guys. Hope you're enjoying the games. Now this looks like it's going to be Rain opening up with Forge first. We know that because he's scouting after Pylon.
Yeah, and still the same safe opener for Zeros.
Oh, no, is this a night? Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's Overpool. Never mind.
It is Overpool, so Zero hasn't changed that up. It was really Soma that tried to mix it up a little bit with some 9 pools and 12 hatches, and really kind of mixing it up. But for the most part, I think if we can get both players to start standardly, Zero did look like he was so close at some points in that second game to having really big advantages.
So he gets the early scout off, which is pretty convenient because he knows exactly how to respond to the Zerg. So he's going to get a Forge. He's probably going to halt probes and then get a Nexus and then get a cannon and then probably resume probe production. But if you don't find them immediately, then you have to take into account a lot of other possibilities. Like, did he 4-pool?
Right. Getting that opening build, super important. Although I will say that going cannons as Rain is kind of unusually passive. A lot of times, at least in his quarterfinals games, he would do gateway expand just so that you could be proactive out on the map and at least keep something out there to scout. Because once you lose this probe, it's a dark, scary world out there.
Yeah, that's one thing about when you look at like this matchup in general. Rain really proved, him and Bisu, I think, proved that being active in the Zerg space gives you a different type of control. I mean, one problem, like you were saying, Rapid, with going Forge first is that you're sort of doing your own, you're playing
single player, yeah.
What you do try to do is send Zealots out once the gateway finishes and try to add pressure on there, but it's much less, I think, impactful. It's much easier if the Zerg gets a few more drones out to then handle one gate Zealot pressure. But there are benefits to this as well. You do get your Nexus up pretty fast. If the Zerg doesn't interfere with you, you can tech pretty rapidly as well.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously you do have to keep that probe alive. It looks like it's actually one hit away from getting killed here, so that would be huge if Zero does want to go for one of these early aggressive Hydra builds, which we keep hyping up because he was kind of the real innovator on those, but haven't really seen anything super aggressive from Zero just yet.
So another probe is sent out immediately because he wants to basically scan what the Zergs do, and he wants to identify. Okay, is there a layer here? Do you have a Hydra Den? What's up? What's going on?
Yeah, the Hydra Den's the really big thing, and the timing for that is coming up here. So getting this probe in is huge.
Now I want to point out, Zero has made the bare minimum amount of links.
Oh yeah, every Zerg wants to get away with 2.
Yeah, but that does mean you can scout pretty easily with the probe. Yeah. Even if you have 4, then you can use 2 of those to block the ramp. I guess you can use a drone to block the ramp as well.
I mean, if you're blocking a ramp with a drone, the Protoss player already knows, wait a second, this guy really doesn't want me to get in there.
But then the thing is, you can block it with the drone and not do anything.
Yeah.
So it's sort of a weird
mind game.
It's a weird mind game that happens there. So I think Ling's speed should be pretty close to finished.
Yeah, and he's also starting to pump more than just the bare minimum links.
Look at this. Look where he hides that one Zealot.
Oh my God.
He just puts it there.
Because the tree blocks it. Actually, no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't, yeah.
Okay.
but I think the idea is really there. You can hide a Zealot on their side of the map and suddenly have something pop over much later on.
I mean, he's got to see the red dot on the minimap, right? But
yeah,
also,
no, he sees it, but he can't attack into it without losing all 4 links because they have to fight single file.
You'd have to like pull them back, and even then, all 4 of your lings are still damaged at the end. But the probe is ushered out, and that means that whatever Zero does from now on is either going to be unscouted or Rain is going to have to rush a Zealot in there and see what's up.
So there's 2 more Zealots coming in here. I like this a lot. He sends these 2 because he wants to free up this one over here.
He's got to get this guy out of jail.
Oh, hold on. Is he just going to go around? I guess he's going to go around to the 3rd.
It's like, you're not stuck in here with me, I'm stuck in here with you.
There's so much to this part of the game where you send the Zealots in different directions and try to hit different spots. And
So that's an extra hatchery, and I think the big thing that the casters are talking about is that these Zealots are completely unscouted.
Yeah. No, I mean, absolutely. They're going to come right in.
Oh, my God. Yeah.
And Now, the Lings can come back here and try to help fight, but look, he does the same thing he was trying to do earlier.
Oh, good job glitching on top, but he actually lost a drone there, so that's kind of not worth it.
That was impressive, the way he got this round on that. Now, here comes the other Zealot back up here. Apparently, there's Hydras under that Overlord. I didn't see that, but...
He's definitely trying to hide the Hydra underneath, but it looks like he will get a drone. Actually, he's going to get 2 drones.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. The hit squad Zealot gets the 2 drones, gets taken out with whatever.
You know, it's so hard. Microing the Zealots requires actually a lot more attention on the Zealot than you would guess. You can't just right-click somewhere and it gets there because it's slow, and it can be body blocked by simply just slow Lings can get in the way of it.
Yep.
So the fact that he's getting all these units away and still doing damage, and another
he's
Zealot
back
comes
at it
in,
again.
It's insane. It's truly impressive.
Where did that even come from? Like, I'm trying to watch these Zealots go across the map, and he just keeps rallying single Zealots in and getting so much done with them, in spite of there being a bunch of Zerglings and Hydras out.
And he actually is now getting Overlords here.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Now, I want to point out Zero is one of the greatest Zergs of all time.
Oh, for sure.
And he is getting judo flipped in this game. I mean, this is like you're just coming out and attacking different spots, and the Zerg can't keep up.
Yeah, this is like waxing on with no way for Zero to wax this off.
The only person I ever see that can do the same type of damage, honestly, in this matchup is Bisu.
Yeah, at his prime, like, Bisu just made this look imbalanced and totally unfair.
Yeah, and the concept isn't difficult, right? I mean, you hit with different spots with the Zealots, and if you have a Zealot over where the Overlords are, you then attack in there. But the way that Rain makes it looks like it's almost too good to stop.
Oh, he's coming back in here again. The Hydras just never seem to be in significant number or in the right position.
And
oh my God.
He's so patient. He'll do that much damage. He never overextends, which I think we see a lot of other Protosses do.
Well, Zero
lose a few Corsairs.
Yeah, it's hard to keep those alive and get Overlord kills. Well, now the Overlords have speed. He also made a huge round of Overlords, so now he's way up above the supply cap, and it looks like he's doing a better job protecting them from these Corsairs.
Yeah, but when you're making that many Overlords, it does mean you've slowed down the production rhythm overall here for Zerg, right? You were spending a lot more time remaking Overlords instead of having a bigger army, and this all plays into the Protoss' hand. Protoss now comes out with Zealots and a DT, and both of those are going to be much more of a threat because the Overlords generally, when they retreat, they have to bunch together like so over here. So now the DT may have a better ability to assert itself.
And it looks like Rain is sort of corralling these Overlords, saying, okay, you stay over here, and eventually he's going to find a point of weakness and try to run that DT in.
Yeah, he actually came back through here to see if there was anything spotting at the third.
Yeah.
This is 6 hatch again, by the way.
Okay, so he is going to try that same style. Now, last time he only made a few mutas. They didn't really do all that much. This time he skipped the mutas, at least for now. We'll see if they come into play a little bit later on. Trying to bust up the ramp, but it looks like he is actually going to do that. More reinforcements coming down from Zero, trying to stop these Zealots from killing the drones.
Okay, he's come in now. And he, you know, because of the harass early on, the Zerg never got to get a very clean wall in, which is what you normally see at the third base. You normally see this area that's just very hard to attack into with melee units.
Yeah, SimCity's way more open this time, especially at the third base.
So he's got his Templars. Now he did lose some Zealots in that attack there, which means he can't attack out, but you want to watch out for these big Hydra busts here.
Ooh, still losing these Overlords, man. It's actually kind of interesting, the way this visibility ebbs and flows. For a while, the Protoss just has no way to scout without a Corsair once the probes die. But now it's kind of flipped on the other side, whereas these Overlords get taken out, and all of a sudden, yeah, you know, Zero doesn't have a total grasp on where these Zealots are. Well, I guess he did find the Zealots now, but if you don't know where they are, that can be really scary if they run into your third.
So I think all the Hydras are going to reorganize and start at least the beginnings of a contain. Look, this is so interesting. This is the second time we've seen him get a shuttle before a third base.
Yeah, it seems like...
Normally, when you see a quick shuttle like this and it's Templar tech, it's something super cheeky, like a very quick DT drop, but not this time. It's like he's actually got all of his tech. I wouldn't be surprised if he's getting Templar mana upgrade or the amulet or whatever the hell that thing's called.
Kydarian amulet, yeah.
Yeah.
He's actually trying to bust up that ramp with just Hydras. I don't know if that's going to do it.
Like, if the reinforcements come... Wait, he wants to stop Protoss from making cannons over here.
Yeah.
I think that might actually work. There should be Templars here.
Are there?
No, he just hasn't moved him yet.
Yeah, and also I still want to find out what that shuttle is for, because if you're picking up the Templar and sending them across the map, you're not getting a third base.
Well, I think it's not necessarily for a storm drop. I think it's for a DT drop in the main. A lot of times when Corsairs begin to succeed, it means that there's not an Overlord in the main, but we just saw there was one. But a lot of times if the Corsairs are killing a lot, the main is just not necessarily well covered. And even if there's an Overlord there, there's usually not an army, but Zero seems to be very cognizant of what game plans Rain has this time around.
Super vigilant. And I mean, we've seen tons of games, especially in the quarterfinals, of one DT gets in, kills all your drones. Happened to Soma. I think it happened to Zero, actually, one game, but I think he still won. And so now he is airtight, no drops getting in, but this is a very scary push with a ton of Templar in it. Oh, but look at the sandwich coming in. Zero on the both sides here. He's got lurkers. He's trying to snipe down those high Templar, but can't pick one off. Forces out a couple of storms, but he has a reinforcing army coming from the other side at the same time.
He's so on top of checking where the army is on the minimap, but immediately getting there and immediately grabbing the Templar and immediately storming the exact right spot in the army where Zerg has to retreat. If they try to stay, they're going to lose everything.
Oh my God. Yeah, seeing Rain move, his army movements are so calculated.
Yo,
now,
did that shuttle move?
No, it's
still there.
Misclick? I don't know. It's got a purpose, right? But
well, he could just load it up with Zealots and drop it in the main too. Maybe he wants to see if there's going to be a lot of pressure. And if there is, he then moves in there and tries to do damage that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know if it's staying back, you just don't want to bother.
Well, look, I mean, I think if you make the shuttle, there's always that possibility. And if Rain says it's not a good time, you know it's not a good time to use it.
So Zerg's staying out now. Now there is the other main being taken over here, and you can see that if there were to be a Zealot run by like we saw on Circuit Breakers, it seems as though Zero is ready to catch it this time.
Yeah, now, what is that on the southern side of the map? There's one unit. It might be that shuttle at the 6 o'clock, but he's actually got to watch his Hydras because the storms are starting to come, and there's more where that came from, too. But the Hydra concave is gigantic. There's actually Hydras down below that aren't coming up to fight this.
Yeah, he's being very patient, Rain is. Zero has got enough, though, that I don't know if Rain wants to commit fully, but you never know. With this many storms, it's some pretty insane
He's going to come
stuff
around from behind. This is it. An almost 360. No scope coming in from Zero. The Hydras and Lurkers coming from behind, but the storms abide. There's so many Templar in this army for Rain.
Rain, so far, he still has enough storms. If he can just throw down a few more.
Oh, but if those run out, then he is in so much trouble. The Hydra concave persists.
Maybe they're all empty. I'm sorry.
I think Rain's going to lose. I think this army is starting to get taken out. The DT, though, no Overlords here to save the Hydras.
Yeah, the Hydras are going to push forward here. That was a little bit messy by Rain. It seems like he might have had some more storms he could use, but he can reinforce with more Zealots and High Templars.
Yeah, and there are more storms back at home, so these Hydras will be able to push across the map, but there's still nothing to... Okay, there's the Overlord. Finally, the DT will get dealt with, but... Oh my God, this is so scary.
By the way, if that Nexus is done... Okay, probes are finally being transferred. He didn't transfer that quickly.
Somehow the DT did not die and slipped by the Overlords, but...
This is great play by him. This is what you want to do. Is in the hectic fray,
right?
You just send the DT somewhere. In this case, he knows that in the main or in the natural, there's going to be something.
Oh my God. Every Protoss player's had that happen.
So there's more lurkers being made here. He's going to try to contain. But this DT, let's see if Zero actually notices this. I see Hydras coming here. God, he's really fast and reactive.
It gets one drone and that's it. Every other Zerg player loses their entire mineral line. Man, he is on top of things.
Okay, so here comes a shuttle now.
Finally.
Now this should be something Zero notices. But we'll see. And I have to assume there's a DT, maybe a High Templar, possibly a Zealot in there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to go in there and try to snipe High Templar. Those High Templar are very vulnerable. Yeah, and here we go, trying to dive on the High Templar, dropping the Zealots. Is there a DT in there? Storm drop?
4 Zealots. This is a smart move here.
Yeah.
But I don't know if this is going to be enough to curb the sheer power of Hydras there is right here. Oh,
okay,
my God.
That's a good storm, but he might not have too many more left. It looks like he might just be totally out at this point, and there's Hydras and Lurkers knocking at his front door.
So this is what I call the waypoint dilemma. Zerg's already doing a lot of damage, but the rest of the army that's rallied, it comes out behind the cannons. Now, I don't see if there's any reinforcements coming here, so maybe this won't end up becoming an issue, but sometimes especially in Mass Hydra, they'll hit the front of your base, and you'll have Dragoons and Templars behind your structures where they can't actually fight well.
He picks up another High Templar, but the cannons at that third base are actually going to stop it from going down. And, oh my god, Zero's lost so much in his main.
I got to say, that 4 Zealot drop, it's pretty insane what that did, huh?
Yeah, well...
And he's going to do it again.
Yeah, do you think he just was trying so hard to, like, get... or Zero was trying so hard to, like, just go for the kill that he just thought, okay, well, whatever.
Yeah. It seems like what Rain's plan is he just has a shuttle. And the thing is, if you just send a shuttle and nothing's going on the map, it's just going to get killed, right?
Right.
But if he sees an attack like the one we're seeing here, well, then the yin and yang of the army on the map here would say that there's nothing back at home. And 4 Zealots against with just workers, that does an insane amount. It's sort of like vultures in a PvT. I mean, this just does so much. He can pounce on some of the key structures like the spawning pool as well.
And Zero's got hard choices to make. Do I go for it and maybe lose too much in my main, or do I have to try to split some off, defend back at home, and keep the pressure on?
And so again, the main isn't mining. He killed the pool.
Oh my god.
Which is just very annoying.
For sure.
Oh my god.
That is a lot of Hydras. Let's see how many storms there are.
Yeah, he needs to back up. I mean, if the Hydras try to collapse on this, okay, that was huge.
Sickest storms there. Now, just thinning out the Hydra count so much.
I love this. He actually hides 2 Zealots over there. By the way, I think Protoss is being pretty sneaky in the bottom right. I think he's making a plume of cannons. And then he could just pop a Nexus up there. You know, since Protoss can make everything from one probe, you can just sneak a base. Which is great in a PvZ especially, because if a Zerg has even one Zergling there, they can also stop a base, right? But when there's this much action going on and drops happening everywhere, that location in the bottom right might just be ignored.
Oh, another good storm there, but the Hydras will be able to pick that.
I gotta say, there's been a small mistake here by Rain. He never got the energy upgrade here for the Templars.
Yeah, I guess I didn't notice that. He's also been losing quite a few, but obviously he's remaking those almost as quickly. Now, supplies are starting to separate as Rain continues his macro. He's killed off huge chunks of Hydras and now decides to push out across the map. There's a lot of Hydras here, but the storms are coming in.
Okay, the Hydras can do their initial damage, but once these Templars get here, we got to see how the Psy Storms connect. Oh, that's really good.
Yeah, and that second one is, I mean, almost just as good. I think he's just going to break.
He's going to win again. He's so good. GG.